Hello and welcome. This is Africa in 10 minutes, where we bring to you the top business news as reported on Footprints Africa. I'm Chamaka J. Uwadoka. First, the headlines. Olam invests $1 billion in Nigeria. Uber Eats to launch in Nairobi. African Development Bank signs 10,000 megawatt deal with ISA. And now the news in details. The Vice President of Olam, Reggie George, has disclosed that Olam Nigeria Limited had invested about $1 billion to boost Nigeria's agricultural sector. He said the investment was done within its 26 years of existence in the country. He said Olam was working towards enhancing Nigeria's food security, boosting the country's self-sufficiency in food production, and helping it to realize its goal of becoming a global exporter of rice. George said as part of efforts to realize its goals, Olam Nigeria Limited has set up a multi-million-dollar integrated rice mill, which has the capacity to produce 30,000 tons of rice per annum in Nasarawa State. He said the 3,000 hectares of land under cultivation on the 6,000-hectare paddy farm where the rice mill is located is being increased to 10,000 hectares and will become the largest rice farm in Africa. The mill has given direct employment to 1,000 people from the surrounding communities. The total investments in the integrated farm, the mill, and other facilities amounts to $111 million, which is about 40 billion naira. George said that as part of strategies to ensure that those involved in the rice value chain did not record or suffer losses, rice farmers were motivated with the provision of rice mills while domestic markets were sought for the milled rice. He said, "We are determined to make Nigeria the agricultural hub of the continent. We are therefore sourcing, procuring, grading, processing, and exporting other agricultural products such as cocoa, cashew, sesame, and cotton." The Olam Vice President said that more than 6,000 farmers in Taraba and Benue had been fully registered and equipped to farm inputs at a 50% subsidy. Still in Nigeria, Managing Director of Okomu Oil Palm Company, Dr. Graham Heffer, has commended the Edo State government for her commitment in ensuring a business-friendly environment for the smooth operations of the company. Heffer said Okomu provides opportunity for more than 14,000 Nigerian shareholders to own a part of this company. The success of the company has been further exemplified by the strong increase of its net income, which has resulted in a fourfold increase in the company's share price since 2012 and the payout of annual dividend. Chairman Board of Directors Okomu Oil Palm, Mr. Benga Oyebode, said the company has demonstrated its commitment to creating jobs following the expansion of the plantation's extension 2, which, according to him, has grown exponentially and employed over 2,000 people. According to him, the expansion of the plantation is a true testimony of the future development of Edo State. He added that the massive business investment by the company was achieved in responding to the government's change in policy from a solely oil-based economy to an agro-based one. Oyebode noted that the Okomu Oil Palm is situated on 33,000 hectares of land, all in Edo State, and is ranked 10th among listed companies with the largest turnovers quoted on the Nigerian Stock Exchange. Commissioning the new plantation, Obaseki applauded the developmental strides of the management team of Okomu Oil Palm Company. He added that the new plantation extension 2 would complement government efforts in creating jobs. A Chinese multinational company said it will invest over $100 million in Nigeria and other African countries to boost the continent's economy within the next 3 years. The General Managing Director, Longreach International Africa, Alex Jia, said the company has already invested over $30 million in Nigeria. According to him, we will, in the next 3 years, invest $100 million to cover the whole of Africa. We have already invested $30 million in Nigeria with the construction of Africa's Research and Development Institute in Lagos. Despite the recession experience with Nigeria's population and the proactive measures taken by the government, things have normalized for better business flow. We are ready to bring in all the technological support to boost the Nigerian market. Niger State Governor Alhaji Abubakar Sani Bello disclosed that arrangements have been put in place to donate hectares of land to the company as part of efforts to boost investments in the state. The governor, who was represented by the Executive Secretary, Niger State One-Stop Investment Center, Hamza Bello, assured that the state will partner with the company to empower women and youths. He said for Longreach to bring its Research and Development Institute to Nigeria, it shows that they are a viable company and we are ready to give them land to build a warehouse where products can be supplied to the north-central region of the country. Moving now to East Africa, Uber is set to launch its food delivery service in Nairobi this year, aiming to ride on a fast-expanding online food order and delivery market presently dominated by local courier firms. Uber Eats operates in 200 cities across the globe and partners with more than 80,000 restaurants presently. Uber spokesman East Africa, Jenna Kemboy, in a statement said, "After 3 years of making safe and affordable rides available at the touch of a button, Uber has announced its continued investment in East Africa with the forthcoming launch of Uber Eats in Kenya. The global food delivery app that makes getting great food as simple as requesting a ride will add Nairobi to its menu of more than 200 cities around the world later this year. Ms. Kemboi added that there was a huge demand in Nairobi for the service. We have been overwhelmed by the response from local residents who want access to flexible work, and we urge anyone interested in delivering with Uber Eats to earn some extra money to get in touch, she said. Launched 2 years ago, Uber Eats seeks to capitalize on demand for convenience from users. Other players in the sector include Hello Food, Jumia Food, Yum Kenya, among others. Now in South Africa, South African insurance company Sunlam Limited is celebrating its $1 billion corporate acquisition of Sunlam Finances, a leading North Africa headquartered insurance firm. The acquisition, subject to regulatory approvals, is billed as the single largest insurance firm transaction in Africa. The deal, at a $1.50 billion consideration, allows the Sunlam Group to become a truly pan-African insurance, investment and ancillary services group, able to service multinational clients and their intermediaries more effectively than any other group operating across the continent. The deal gives Sunlam access to Saham's fast-growing African business in 26 countries through 65 subsidiaries across the continent. Sunlam Kenya Acting Group CEO Mr. George Kuria said the acquisition has effectively positioned the Sunlam Group as Africa's largest non-bank financial services provider, with added benefits for the firm's client. Sunlam Kenya is part of the Sunlam Group and operates under the Sunlam Emerging Markets Business Cluster, which will also cover Saham Finances moving ahead. Sunlam Group Chief Executive Officer Mr. Ian Kirk said, "The acquisition of the remaining 53% of Saham Finances, which increases our shareholding to 100% in the group, is the next logical step for Sunlam and enables us to have an even more meaningful presence across Sub-Saharan and North Africa in line with our strategy. Given our footprint, the transaction positions Sunlam as the go-to financial services provider for multinationals, brokers, banks, other distribution entities, as well as a preferred network of partners for international insurers with no African footprint. The acquisition of Saham Finances will enable Sunlam, its subsidiaries and associates, to deepen its direct presence in North Africa as well as Francophone West Africa and Southern African Lusophone countries, which provides it with a unique positioning on the African continent. The two entities will also enjoy potential synergies in general insurance, including optimization of reinsurance and enhancement of Sunlam's product line diversification. In a bid to boost its Light Up and Power Africa initiative, the African Development Bank has signed an agreement with the International Solar Alliance to scale up solar energy in Africa. Per the deal, which was sealed at the founding conference of the International Solar Alliance held in New Delhi on March 11, the bank and ISA will jointly support technical assistance and knowledge transfer for solar development and deployment in sunshine-rich African countries. Additionally, both parties will develop finance instruments for off-grid solar projects, as well as large-scale solar independent power producers for African ISA member countries. As part of the new agreement, ISA also will support the African Development Bank's Desert to Power Solar initiative, through which the bank wants to turn Africa's deserts into new sources of energy. Amadou Hott, Vice President, Power, Energy, Climate and Green Growth at the African Development Bank, has said, "This signing is an important milestone for the bank in its effort to lead the continent's transformation towards sustainable energy through the use of solar technologies and in its bid to reach universal access to energy in Africa." The joint declaration recognizes the bank's new deal on energy for Africa, its energy policy, and its leadership in working with governments, the private sector, and bilateral, multilateral energy sector initiatives to develop a transformative partnership on energy for Africa. The declaration lays out areas of deeper cooperation between ISA and the bank, including developing innovative financial instruments to reduce risks and costs associated with solar investments, and to leverage climate financing and commercial co-financing and mobilizing concessional financing through the Sustainable Energy Fund for Africa and other bank-hosted funds. That wraps up this week's news. Please stay tuned for a recap of the stories. World's third largest agribusiness, Olam, invests $1 billion in Nigeria. Also in Nigeria, Okumu Oil's share price in record fourfold increase. Chinese firm to invest $100 million in Nigeria and others. In Kenya, Uber Eats to launch in Nairobi. Sunlam's acquisition of Saham Finances makes it Africa's largest non-bank financial services provider. African Development Bank signs 10,000 megawatt deal with ISA. Join the conversation on social media. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and connect with us on LinkedIn. Stay updated with the trending business news in Africa. Log on to www.footprinttoafrica.com today. Footprint to Africa, business news made in Africa by Africans.